There's three things I want to go over on this chart. Number one, you hear a lot of people say, well, I don't want to bet a run line at home because I get one less at bat. Well, guess what, guys? Vegas knows that, and the lines are different. So over to the right, let's take a look at how much difference there is. You see this chart is broken since 2018. The top line is minus 170 to minus 180, then minus 180 to minus 190, minus 190 to 200. So I took very specific terms to make the lines very equal. So take a look at the right on that diff column. When you're betting an away favorite on the run line, it's a 64-cent difference. When you're betting him at home, it's an 88-cent difference. So Vegas is bringing in that last at bat. At home, you're getting 24 cents more from minus 180 to minus 190. You're getting 27 cents more minus 190 to 200. You're getting 25 cents more minus 200 to minus 210. So number one, when you're betting a home team on the run line, you're getting better odds than you are on the road. So if you like what you're playing, it's not a reason not to play it. So the chart, away favorites to the left, home favorites to the right, broken down by line. You see the deep red with white text, and you see the green text. Those are situations where the return on investment is at least plus 4% or minus 4% or higher. So the one thing you will notice is it is better off when you are a home favorite to lay the number on the money line. Look at the return on investments to the right-hand side. Money line minus 170 to minus 180 better. 180 to 190 better. 190 to 200 better. 200 to 210 better. Every situation all the way down for a home favorite, it is better to lay the number with the money line than the run line. On the left-hand side, you see that away favorites have been very profitable. Look at all those greens from minus 210 down. 7.0 return on investment, 2.0, 13.0, 12.9, 4.0. There's that weird gap in the middle. Away favorites, successful from minus 170 to minus 190. They're a negative from minus 190 to minus 210, sort of an anomaly. There are a few spots as a big away favorite that the run line is more profitable than the money line. But overall, take a look at the chart. There's a reason MLB favorites are 210 or more. Look at the home, look at the way, look at all the green and no red on those big MLB favorites. So if people say, why would you bet MLB favorites, big MLB favorites? This chart is showing you exactly why.
Sure. I mean, you look at the road chalk, it stands out like a sore thumb. You look at the home chalk, it stands out like a sore thumb. Your favorites, 220, 240, 260, 280, where people start to get reluctant to back them. That's what Ralph is showing. The database is clearly showing that's where the value is. But if you could just pop that chart up one more time real quick for me, for my follow-up question. Ralph, when we talk about, you started the whole conversation with the run line versus the money line and how bettors kind of know that the home team doesn't get that last at bat. And in theory, it's supposed to be priced in. But what we see when you look at those home favorites, the run line, negative, far more negative than the money line, with the home favorites of less than $2. That's what kind of stood out to me, is that the conventional wisdom is right. You don't want to lay a run and a half with a home team unless you're $2 or higher. Is that a takeaway that you came away with this chart as well, Ralph?
Yeah, absolutely, Teddy. And I didn't clarify that point, but you are correct. There are situations where it's built in, but look at the negatives minus. Look at favorites, 170 to 190. It's minus 14, minus 180, and minus 19. Significant, minus 14.3% return on investment. That's one of the biggest numbers on the chart. But even at home, take a look at the money line and the run line, how much better the return on investment is on that top line than the bottom. Every single category at home has a better return on investment on the money line than the run line.
Yeah, and Ralph, before we move on to a game for Friday night, I want to ask just one follow up. I mean, first of all, it is priced in, but it's not priced in enough, obviously, because you can see that it's underperformed the money lines. But the other thing too is it just looks like away favorites have been a better bet in general, both money line and run line than home favorites too during this span over the last 5 years or so. But I want to ask you real quick. There's a large split when we start getting to these big money line favorites in baseball. Just kind of a database question in general. What kind of split are you using? What kind of consensus line? I mean, because is this like a 20-cent line? Is it minus 220 plus 200 still? Or is it, a 30 or 40-cent line? Because obviously, with some of the more public sports books now, the split gets pretty wide on these big favorites.
Steve, these numbers are with the actual splits from the line. So I am not guesstimating anything. You see that, let's look at the 260 to 280 favorites. When you're betting the money line, it's minus 265. When you're betting the run line, it's minus 154. But they are the traditional splits, and they go as high as 80 cents when you're getting those 300 favorites. So these are legitimate splits from the majority of the sports books, the
Got you.
consensus legitimate splits. It's not using a 10 cents, and it's using a fair line when you get to the high vig. So there's nothing I formulated. It's using the actual numbers.
Right. That's very important. That's great to hear because obviously you don't want to find like the absolute best split in the world that a lot of people can't get. So these are very consensus numbers, and these are lines. If you shop around and have two or three outs, like we preach that you should be able to have these same results as well long term.